I want to welcome you guys back to another episode of Pistons Talk Podcast presented by FanDuel. First game of the week was a doozy. Pistons play the Hornets. We have a shortened week because All-Star break is coming up. Just to start this one, there was no Ryan Holland. He's dealing with some personal reasons, so wishing Ryan well. Hopefully everything's all good with him. But getting into these quarter notes, going over the quarters, we'll start with the first. Sar Thompson was really aggressive to start off this first quarter, getting into the mid-range, lobs, and just finishing second chance points. It was really good to see him be aggressive. This was a game where the Pistons did foul quite a bit. Charlotte has been one of the hottest teams in basketball, and they were on a 9-game win streak. And just the way that they've been playing, they can shoot the basketball, they can drive the basketball, run in transition. And the Pistons kind of had a back and forth battle with the Hornets. They were leading for a majority of this first quarter until the Hornets went on an 8-0 run, and they were up 1 with 3:28 to go. Javonte Green had a really nasty foul in this first, landed on his wrist. He was good to go, made both of his free throws, stayed in the game, which was good to see. If you guys saw the foul, it was really nasty. I don't even know what happened. I think his ankle just got kind of caught up when he was in midair. Hornets were just red hot from three in that first quarter. Collectively as a team, they almost made 23s tonight and still found a way to lose this game, which is just really weird. But they made a buzzer beater, and they were up 33-29 after 12 minutes of play. Second quarter, Hornets were just continuing to be red hot from three. We weren't really closing out on their three-point shooters like Con Knipple. Josh Green was hitting a couple. Brandon Miller. Stu looked like he tweaked his ankle, but eventually did stay in the game. And Cade just kind of took over in this one. Cade's scoring was phenomenal tonight. Had over 30 points, but he had 19 points at halftime. Sar Thompson picked up back-to-back fouls with Grant Williams. A couple of the fouls with Grant Williams tonight, I know he just came back from injury, but some of them were a little bit questionable, in my opinion. There's a couple of flops there that he kind of got away with. I'm surprised he didn't get a tech for flopping and flailing. But Sar had picked up 3 fouls, so he didn't really get to see him anymore in that second quarter. But we finished the quarter much stronger. We went on a 14-2 run, and we're able to get back into this game and have a lead going in the halftime, 61 to 57. Third quarter, probably the most chaotic and the most memorable part of this entire game. Jalen Duren was very physical in the third quarter coming out of halftime. And I want to give context of the situation. This isn't something new with the Pistons and the Hornets. It's always very chippy. It's always really back and forth. And it's usually Brandon Miller. It's usually Miles Bridges and Moussa Diabate. Duren had a move in the post in the second quarter before this got completely out of hand, where he spun around. I believe it was one of their rookies. I believe it was Sion James, fell to the floor. Brandon Miller kind of tied him up and made him earn it at the free throw line. Then we get into the third quarter. Jalen Duren was getting to the free throw line, hit a mid-range, and then he put the ball on the floor, and Moussa Diabate had to foul him to stop him. And then just kind of put his forehead on Jalen Duren's forehead, had some words to say to him after. And then it just escalated to the point where Jalen Duren just takes his hand and shoves him in the face. And then Diabate wanted this to throw fist. Obviously, this was a fist fight, got completely out of hand. It took multiple players and coaches to not only contain Moussa Diabate, but also Jalen Duren. And then I thought it was going to settle a little bit. And then as Duren's kind of at half court, you see Miles Bridges come up on him and punch him in the face and swing at him. And I'm like, okay, apparently this fight isn't done. And then Isaiah Stewart saw that, took exception to it, charged Miles Bridges, got a few punches in, and those guys had to be separated. Multiple ejections. Miles Bridges, Moussa Diabate, Jalen Duren, Isaiah Stewart all got ejected in the third quarter. But after that, give a shout out to Paul Reed, man. Paul Reed stays ready. third string center, was just so active, blocking shots, finishing around the rim, hit a really crucial 3-pointer in the second half. But shout out to Paul Reed, man. Like, I think when fights kind of get out to that point, you don't want to be the team to lose that game. And obviously the Pistons did not start this fight. This was started by Charlotte's end, but you don't want to be the team to lose that game. I thought they did a very good job of controlling the chaos. You hear JB Bickerstaff talk about it all the time with this team, that they control the chaos. They were able to end the third quarter with a 10-point lead, 88-78. Going into the fourth, Paul Reed was still being extremely productive. And then Charles Lee got ejected, which I don't even know like why he crashed out as hard as he did. I don't know if it was just kind of like a motivational tactic. I think he felt that the game was kind of getting out of hand and getting out of reach. He crashed out on John Goebel, who, funny enough, ejected Asar Thompson last game. He officiated it. John Goebel ejected Charles Lee for, I don't even know what happened. It was a play with Grant Williams, ironically, and he fell to the floor, and he thought that, it should have been a foul against the Pistons. But the fourth quarter was still very entertaining. Charlotte goes on this 12-4 run, last 4 minutes of this game. And obviously the Pistons were still up a couple possessions. Tobias Harris was really crucial in this fourth quarter, hit a post jumper, kind of got it into a 3-point game. And then the Pistons still have a lead, but Charlotte's trying to get back into it. They turn the ball over. Tobias throws it to Karis LeVert. They get the ball back. Fortunately, the Pistons were lucky that Charlotte didn't cash in on 3-pointers. They did miss a lot of 3-pointers in the second half. Tobias goes to the free throw line, hits more free throws, and the Pistons were able to escape Charlotte with a 6-point victory, 110-104. They snapped the Charlotte Hornets 9-game winning streak. Pistons are on a 2-game winning streak after bouncing back against the New York Knicks that were on an 8-game winning streak, and they just snapped the Charlotte Hornets winning streak that were on a 9-game winning streak. So this game, fully transparent, like when I was looking at the FanDuel odds, Pistons were a 2.5-point favorite. I think Vegas knew that this was just going to go down to the wire. They knew that this was going to be a very highly anticipated game. I think a lot of people circled this game because Charlotte was one of the hottest teams, not only in the Eastern Conference, but the NBA right now. The Pistons are the number 1 seed in the Eastern Conference, just got their 39th win of the season right before All-Star break. They have a chance to get to 40 if they handle business in Toronto, but hell of a game, hell of a win. That's a really good team right now. It's a team that you could possibly see in the first round of the playoffs, the way that they're playing right now. I don't want to take anything away from them or their guys. Like they have a really young, energetic, fun team. Charles Lee's done a hell of a job coaching these guys, but I want to get into the box score. And if you guys are brand new here, we're going to open up the show to comments and questions after we go over the box score and the team stats, and just have a chill rest of the podcast. It'll kind of just be like an open forum. But let's get into the box score with the Detroit Pistons and the Charlotte Hornets. Let's go with the Detroit Pistons first. And I always do that, which I got to stop doing. And then I got to make sure I have it set before I do the box score segment of this podcast. So let's start with the starters. Tobias Harris played 35 minutes in this one, had 11 points. He was 4 out of 11 from the field, 1 for 4 from 3, 2 for 2 from the free throw line, which came in the fourth quarter. 5 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 turnover, 1 steal, 1 block. He was a plus 15 in the plus minus. Duncan Robinson had a very productive game from the field. Cashed in 18 points, 8 out of 10 from the field, 1 for 3 from 3, 1 out of 2 from the free throw line, 3 rebounds, 4 assists, 1 turnover. He led the whole team in plus minus with the plus 27 tonight. Jalen Duren in only 20 minutes still cashed in 15 points. He was 5 out of 7 from the field, perfect from the free throw line, made 5 free throws, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 turnover, 1 steal. He was a plus 15. Cade Cunningham led them in scoring tonight. In 37 minutes, he dropped 33 points, 12 out of 27 from the field, 2 out of 6 from 3, perfect from the free throw line where he made 7 out of 7. 9 rebounds, 7 assists, 3 turnovers, 1 steal. It's a plus 14 in the plus minus. Star Thompson in 25 minutes dropped 6 points, 8 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 turnover, 2 steals, shot 3 out of 8 from the field. But overall, starters did a really good job in this one. Paul Reed off the bench after the ejection got 18 minutes, 12 points, 3 out of 5 from the field, 1 for 1 from 3, 5 out of 8 from the free throw line, 3 rebounds, 1 assist, 2 steals, 1 block. Isaiah Stewart in 11 minutes had 2 points in this one, and that's about it. Javonte Green had 15 minutes, 4 points, 1 out of 5 from the field, 2 for 2 from the free throw line, which he made in the first quarter. Karis LeVert in 23 minutes had 5 points, shot 2 out of 4 from the field, 0 for 2 from 3, 1 for 2 from the free throw line, 2 rebounds, 1 assist, 2 steals, and 1 block in this one. Kevin Huerter, most minutes he's played as a Detroit Piston. JB said once he gets more practices under his belt, he's going to get a bigger leash. Had 13 minutes in this one. Didn't score. He was 0 for 2 from the field, but did get 3 rebounds and 1 assist and 1 steal in this one. And Dennis Jenkins, newly acquired Dennis Jenkins, that just signed with the Detroit Pistons. Congrats to Dennis, by the way. 19 minutes, 4 points, 2 out of 6 from the field, 3 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 turnover, 2 steals. He was a +4. He was the only bench player that was actually a plus in the plus minus. But man, just a hell of a game by the bench unit and the starters. But look at the team stats. This was a game where the Pistons didn't particularly shoot it the best from the outside. They shot 20% as a team. They only made 5 out of 25. Charlotte, on the other hand, made 19 3-pointers on 47 attempts, and they shot 40%. Pistons as a whole shot better from the field. They shot 47% to Charlotte's 31. They got to the free throw line, and they made 23 out of 28 free throws. Charlotte was perfect, 17 out of 17 from the free throw line. Pistons did out-rebound them by 2. They only had 20 assists tonight. Charlotte had 22. Pistons had 12 steals. They only had 10 turnovers, which was very crucial for them. Charlotte had 21 turnovers. You got to credit the Detroit Pistons defense for that, and some careless turnovers also on Charlotte's. And there was some of them where it's just like, I don't know why you're making that pass or why you're trying to make that pass with like 3 Pistons players around you. But hey, man, we're a Pistons podcast. We really don't care about that. But Pistons just own the paint like they always do. 60 points in the paint to Charlotte's 26. And there were 5 technical fouls and ejections in this one. And, right before I got onto this podcast, I saw that Naz Reid and the Timberwolves got in a fight. I mean, it's a Monday and we're, getting ready for this All-Star break. And we just have teams just fighting constantly. It's honestly just crazy. Like, I honestly thought, like, so many people yesterday were complaining about the Super Bowl and complaining about the halftime show. Like, I was just like, can we just have some like good basketball on Monday night for people to kind of take their I don't even know what you would call it, like opinions on the Bad Bunny Super Bowl performance and the Kid Rock Super Bowl performance and put it to the NBA. Well, I think they did that tonight, especially with the fight, with the altercations, just with the way that this game went down to the wire. But it was a really fun game to watch. And I was just like, I can't wait to do this post-game show because I know you guys are going to go crazy. Made my just blood boil and pump. I was just like, man, like I've missed that type of physical basketball. But I want to get into the comments and questions with you guys. But hell of a game. So Laser has the first comment of this post-game show. I can't lie, the Hornets are scary and will be a good team soon if they can keep that core. Yeah, they're a talented team. Like, I really like Concanipple. I honestly think that, a lot of people kind of just have given like the Rookie of the Year award to Cooper Flagg. Concanipple's a really good rookie. Like, Charlotte did a good job at drafting him where they were at. I really like him. I think he's going to just be a 3-point specialist, and he can actually put the ball on the floor and pass a little bit. Like, Charlotte's going to be a really good team. Obviously, they have Brandon Miller, LaMelo Ball, Miles Bridges. Moussa Diabate has just really helped them as being that defensive center that can catch lobs, block shots, and just play good defense. Like Charlotte's a very good team. It's kind of funny. I know I was talking with Zarek on our weekend podcast on Sunday that we did yesterday, and I was like, Charles Lee was almost a Pistons head coach. If you guys remember when Troy Weaver was here, like that was one of the guys that uh, interviewed for the Pistons head coaching job. Obviously, we know how that story went. Monty Williams got the job, but kind of makes you wonder, like if he would have got hired, like how would things be different? How they would change the way that this team's coached. But Charlotte's a really fun team. It looks like they're going to be a play-in tournament team, but it's still a lot of basketball to be played after this All-Star break. So if they can keep it up, definitely could be a first-round matchup for the Pistons. Jay Hart, I really need folks to understand that you really can't walk up and swing on someone as they're getting held back and not expect his man to jump in. Great job, Stu. I know one of the Charlotte Hornets newscasters had taken a video. I retweeted it on my Twitter if you guys haven't seen it. And Stu literally says, like, you expect me just to let you swing on my teammate and do that? Like, no, like Stu is the heart and soul of this team. I'm not condoning violence on this podcast whatsoever, but even JB said it. When someone swings on you as a man, you have every right to defend yourself. And Duran was obviously getting held back by team security, and Miles had every opportunity. If he wanted to throw a punch at Duran, he could have. Because if you look at kind of the scuffle, he was right next to Duran when Moussa Diabate was trying to swing on Duran. He didn't try to swing on Duran until after Duran was kind of held back. Which, hey, man, I think it's kind of cowardly. I think it's kind of weak. And Stu got a couple good licks in after he kind of left the bench and they had to separate the two. But definitely kind of like if you guys are old enough, I know I was, like kind of gives you like Malice at the Palace vibes, but not as bad. Not as bad. Malice at the Palace was like 1,000 times worse than that. It kind of shows you like a little glimpse of like what fighting in the NBA was like. It really does. Derek Brown, what's your guys' prediction and how many games Isaiah Stewart is suspended for? That is a very good question, Derek. I think with Stu, what is probably going to happen, and it happens with technical fouls with him, it's going to be reputation, right? It'll be a reputation thing where the league office looks at it. So it could be a situation where he's going to get the reputation. He left the bench. It could be anywhere from 3 to 5 games, possibly more. Obviously, Joe Dumars is no longer in the league office that handles these suspensions. I believe it's James Jones now, the former Phoenix Suns front office executive. I haven't really seen suspensions like really lengthy, even with kind of like altercations. But this was an actual fist fight. Maybe it's 3 to 5 games. It could be possibly more. So he would automatically be out for the Raptors game on Wednesday, and then they would have to serve their suspensions after the Pistons come back from All-Star break. And if you look at some of the games after All-Star break, like you got the Knicks, you got the Spurs, you got the Thunder, you got the Bulls. Don't know how many games Stu is going to get suspended for. Definitely could see Duran getting suspended for a couple as well, along with Miles Bridges throwing a punch and Moussa Diabate also kind of causing this whole altercation and crashing out over just a hard play by both Jalen Duran and him. I don't really know like what was said or what kind of caused him to do that. Wes Weaver has a comment about Duncan. So I'm not going to lie. I think Duncan is a better upgrade over Malik Beasley. He puts the ball on the floor and drives when he's not open instead of backing out and hoisting a three. I think I can respect both Malik Beasley as a player and Duncan Robinson. I've always felt Malik Beasley as a three-point shooter would just hoist threes, contested if he had a hand in the space or not. Duncan, to me, wants to generate a good look and wants to generate a good shot. Like if The 3-point shot, he doesn't feel comfortable shooting it. He won't force it. It won't be a really low percentage 3-point shot. And to your point, Duncan has shown the ability to not only put the ball on the floor, but also kind of run some DHOs with, Cade Cunningham, with Jalen Duren, Isaiah Stewart. I think he's a different type of shooter. I think his gravity is a little bit different than Malik Beasley. Miss Malik Beasley dearly. Hope he does get his case settled. I don't know if it's going to be this season, but I think the NBA is a better place when Malik Beasley is in it. But Duncan Robinson has been a really good addition. If you guys remember, like the first year of his contract is guaranteed, and then it's partially guaranteed for the next 2 years of his contract, which I think the partially guaranteed numbers are like anywhere from 2 to 4 million. I don't have Spot Track pulled up in front of me, but I know the numbers are extremely low. But Duncan Robinson has been fantastic. I know we'll probably talk about Kevin Huerter as well. Having 2 3-point specialists like that on this team, I think is really going to help come playoff time. Have a question or more of a comment, I guess, from Kakashi Hadake. We really were linked to Bridges. I'm glad fans are highly opposed it and even made claims to leave the team if he gets traded here. I did see that on Twitter that Pistons fans would not be the happiest if Miles Bridges was traded to the Pistons. I will say this: he is linked to the Pistons in any trade rumor. It would not surprise me if we see a rumor this summer that the Pistons have interest in Miles Bridges. Someone in the front office does. Don't know who it is, but I mean, if you can kind of just like see who the owner is, where did Tom Gores go to college? Michigan State. There's a lot of Michigan State connections in this front office, a lot of former alum there. So I think that's where it kind of comes from. As a basketball player, Miles Bridges is an okay player. I've never really been in love with the idea of Miles Bridges, but hey, I'll let you guys kind of just debate that. I'm not going to get into the off the court stuff that's happened with him. I like to keep it strictly basketball in this podcast, but we really lucked out by not having Ron in the arena tonight. I saw some people say Ron would be upset that he wasn't in it. Ron has actually been like kind of on his best behavior, like outside of the Keon Ellis ejection that he had earlier this year, where he kind of shoved them. Like we saw during Ron's rookie year, like he was just trying to fight everybody. Hope he's okay. I know I mentioned at the top of the podcast he was out with personal reasons. Hopefully he's good. Hopefully he can rejoin the team in Toronto. I think that they're going to need him, especially with being out with some suspensions with the ejections tonight. But hope Ron's good. And no, I saw some Pistons fans saying like I could have saw Ron in there just scrapping with everybody. Like would have been a sight to see for sure. That fight really didn't get bad until Bridges started swinging. He should get the longest suspension, but I know Stu left the bench and got involved. I agree. I feel like this is just going to be a multiple suspension situation for both sides, personally. But it'll definitely be interesting to see what kind of does happen with the suspensions. I know some of you think that Stu's going to get ejected, or not ejected, but suspended for 8+ games. But definitely be interesting to see. Joshua Lloyd said he was at the game and Brandon Miller was pushing players into moving players on his team. Honestly, looked to set up and try to hurt someone multiple times. Even on the broadcast, like you could see Brandon Miller kind of just, chopping it up with Cade, chopping it up with Stu and other players for sure. Definitely think that there was a situation where every time Brandon Miller plays the Pistons, it almost feels like he like welcomes the physicality. I think he likes playing physical type of basketball. But hey, anytime these two teams play each other, it's just chaos. Like that's why I wasn't really too surprised that happened. Duren wasn't getting held back. That guy was moonwalking to the locker room. I was talking about when he was at half court. He had security on him. Now, what you're talking about is when Moussa Diabate, ran up on him. He was kind of walking back But once he got to half court, that's when Miles Bridges started to run up on Jalen Duren. Go watch the fight back. I know what you're talking about when he was kind of moonwalking, but when he went to half court, it was more of just a situation where he was there, just chilling, and then Miles decided just to come up and swing on him. DJ Billy Bob, is it early yet? Herder for Ivy isn't looking like a great move. What do you think? I think for right now, it's pretty early to make like assumptions or opinions on Kevin Herter for a Jaden Ivey trade. I think when you kind of look at the Bulls right now, Jaden Ivey is going to get every opportunity to start and get high minutes, play over 30 minutes a game. The Bulls look like they're trying to tank. Looks like they're trying to reset. With Kevin Herter, he's coming to a championship contending team right now, first in the East. The Pistons hope that they're going to be playing in the Eastern Conference Finals. I have a pretty good feeling they'll have a very deep playoff run because they're a good basketball team, good defensive basketball team. But what I would say is right now with Herter, I haven't been like upset with anything he's done. I think defensively, he's shown the ability to stay in front of people. I think the shots just haven't been falling. Like he hasn't made a 3-point shot yet. He has made some mid-range. He made a couple of mid-range against the Knicks. I've liked what I've seen out of Herter in limited minutes. I think he'll be closer, like around like 15-ish minutes a night, kind of like what Ivy was getting, anywhere from 14 to 18 minutes a night. I like Herter as a player. I think when you just kind of look at the situation with Jaden Ivey, it was just a situation where he was unhappy with his role here. He wanted to get more minutes. He's looking for a new contract. Pistons weren't going to give him a new contract at this deadline, so they did right by Jaden Ivey, giving him an opportunity to go play for his next contract, and that was it. Like, obviously, I know Pistons fans are still very upset of losing him. He was a former top 5 pick, a guy that has Detroit roots. I understand it. I get it. But at the end of the day, you can't keep everyone. Someone was going to be a casualty. Someone was going to get dealt. And it looks like the Pistons are looking to extend Jalen Duren. They're looking to pay him quite a bit of money. I think it's going to be a lot more than Pistons fans expect. It could be close to a maximum contract for Jalen Duren to keep him in a Pistons uniform. I think his price has gone up significantly. He's taken a huge step in development, not only getting better defensively, but his scoring has upticked around 18 points a game. He's looked really good. But overall, like the Ivy for Herter trade and getting a pick swap from Minnesota, I think for like what the value was for Ivy, I think they did the best they could. I know there were other teams in the Western Conference that had interest, but obviously the Pistons did their best to take the trade that they felt that could like really help them not only come playoff time, but also give them a little bit of flexibility as it does relate to this free agency and making sure they have enough cap space to re-sign Jalen Duren and still have a bench, still fill out that bench. So it'll be interesting to see what does happen during the playoffs and in this free agency. But I am going to wrap up this podcast. Very eventful Monday. Pistons win this one again, 110-104. Next Detroit Pistons game will be in Toronto against the Raptors. First time the Pistons have actually seen the Raptors, which is kind of surprising to me. Raptors are another top-seeded playoff team as of right now in the Eastern Conference. Should be a really good game. I've caught a couple Raptors games. They're really fun. They run up and down the court, can score in bunches. So we'll be live for that post-game show immediately after the game. Hope you guys are having a great Monday night. Take care. And as always, go Pistons. Peace.